देव्यै नमः। ब्रह्मलीन श्री स्वामी ओंकारानंदाय नमः। Today let us learn Bhagavad Gita chapter 14 Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, shloka numbers 26 to 27. Repeat after me. मां च यो व्यभिचारेण
मां च यो व्यभिचारेण मां च यो व्यभिचारेण
भक्तियोगेन सेवते
भक्तियोगेन सेवते भक्तियोगेन सेवते
सगुणान् समतीत्यैतान्
सगुणान् समतीत्यैतान् सगुणान् समतीत्यैतान्
ब्रह्मभूयाय कल्पते
ब्रह्मभूयाय कल्पते ब्रह्मभूयाय कल्पते.
Let us chant together.
मां च यो व्यभिचारेण भक्तियोगेन सेवते सगुणान् समतीत्यैतान् ब्रह्मभूयाय कल्पते.
Now you chant.
मां च यो व्यभिचारेण भक्तियोगेन सेवते सगुणान् समतीत्यैतान् ब्रह्मभूयाय कल्पते.
Listen to me. मां च यो व्यभिचारेण भक्तियोगेन सेवते सगुणान् समतीत्यैतान् ब्रह्मभूयाय कल्पते. Repeat after me. Shloka number 27. ब्रह्मणो हि प्रतिष्ठाहम्
ब्रह्मणो हि प्रतिष्ठाहम् ब्रह्मणो हि प्रतिष्ठाहम्
अमृतस्याव्ययस्य च
अमृतस्याव्ययस्य च अमृतस्याव्ययस्य च
शाश्वतस्य च धर्मस्य
शाश्वतस्य च धर्मस्य शाश्वतस्य च धर्मस्य
सुखस्यैकान्तिकस्य च
सुखस्यैकान्तिकस्य च सुखस्यैकान्तिकस्य च.
Let us chant together.
ब्रह्मणो हि प्रतिष्ठाहम् अमृतस्याव्ययस्य च शाश्वतस्य च धर्मस्य सुखस्यैकान्तिकस्य च.
Now you chant.
ब्रह्मणो हि प्रतिष्ठाहम् अमृतस्याव्ययस्य च शाश्वतस्य च धर्मस्य सुखस्यैकान्तिकस्य च.
Listen to me. ब्रह्मणो हि प्रतिष्ठाहम् अमृतस्याव्ययस्य च शाश्वतस्य च धर्मस्य सुखस्यैकान्तिकस्य च. Listen to both the shlokas of the day. मां च यो व्यभिचारेण भक्तियोगेन सेवते सगुणान् समतीत्यैतान् ब्रह्मभूयाय कल्पते. ब्रह्मणो हि प्रतिष्ठाहम् अमृतस्याव्ययस्य च शाश्वतस्य च धर्मस्य सुखस्यैकान्तिकस्य च. ॐ तत्सदिति
ॐ तत्सदिति
श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासूपनिषत्सु
श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासूपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां
योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे
श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे
गुणत्रयविभागयोगो नाम
गुणत्रयविभागयोगो नाम
चतुर्दशोऽध्यायः
चतुर्दशोऽध्यायः
He who sees me with unwavering devotion transcends the three gunas is fit for becoming Brahman. For I am the substratum of the imperishable Brahma of immortality, of the eternal Dhamma and of absolute bliss. जो मनुष्य अव्यभिचारी भक्ति योग के द्वारा मेरा सेवन करता है वह इन गुणों का अतिक्रमण करके ब्रह्म प्राप्ति का पात्र हो जाता है, क्योंकि ब्रह्म का और अविनाशी अमृत का तथा शाश्वत धर्म का और ऐकांतिक सुख का आश्रय मैं ही हूँ. Chapter 14 discusses matters relating to the three gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, their essential character, evolutes, cause and effect, how and under what circumstances they throw the embodied soul into bondage, as well as the nature of that bondage, and finally, the marks of the soul who has risen above the gunas and realized God. In order to inculcate the advisability in the first instance, namely, during the period of one's sadhana or spiritual discipline of shaking off rajas and tamas and adopting sattva, and finally of giving up all connection with the gunas, the three gunas have been separately dealt with. Hence, this chapter has been given the title of Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, the yoga of division of the three gunas. Lord Krishna glorifies once more the supreme wisdom, the best of all kinds of wisdom, and the process of evolution of all beings from the union of Prakriti and Purusha. This sublime science has enabled the seers to pass from this world to the highest perfection, that is, release from rebirth. Each being, animate or inanimate, is born of the great Brahman, who is the womb. Krishna is the father who lays the seed. Lord declares the three gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, as the cause of bondage of the embodied soul. Lord Krishna depicts the essential character in their order of sequence and the nature of the three gunas and the way in which they bind the Jivatma, soul. Sattva is absolutely pure and untainted by any form of evil, hence it is illuminating. Rajas manifests itself in the form of passion or attachment. Also, attachment to actions and their fruit by claiming to be their doer. It ties down to mundane existence consisting of birth and death. Tamas, inertia, stupefies the mind and senses, depriving of the cognitive faculty. All the three are present in every individual, but one prevails over the others. Lord Krishna mentions Sattva-guna drives one to happiness, Rajas to action, and Tamas clouds wisdom, prompting man to idle pursuits, laziness, sleep, gossip, etc. Each guna prevails over the rest at a time and deludes the soul during the whole lifetime. Lord Krishna delineates the marks of the preponderance of each guna. The growth of the sattva guna can be had in the human body alone, and it is in this alone that man can attain liberation. Sattva is pure, simple, and bright, and binds the soul by a lure of knowledge and delight. Death in sattva leads one to heaven. In rajas, the mind is swayed by greed and obsessed with a strong desire for accumulation of wealth and urge for endless action, causing anxiety and pain. Seeks even to usurp the rights of others. Death in rajas takes one to a like field again. In tamas, man finds no relish in activity of any kind. He feels inclined to remain idle and do nothing. It binds him to forgetfulness, sleep, and indolence. He migrates to the lowest fields of darkness. Lord Krishna says, to pass beyond the three gunas, he has to be indifferent to the three aspects: brightness, activity, and delusion. He should realize that he is the non-doer. He looks upon everything with equanimity. He works without desire. By rising above the gunas, he attains my being, attains supreme bliss. Lord Krishna says that the everlasting supreme bliss is the same as himself and nothing else than him. Hence, the attainment of that bliss is the same as his own realization.